You're with Johnny Vedmore on today's News Talk, TNT.
I'm sure you've heard about the indictment of the so-called Bitcoin Jesus, Roger Ver, recently for not paying
Yeah.
capital gains tax on hundreds of millions of dollars he made on Bitcoin. What do you make of that case?
Well, I think that's arisen because he finally wanted to surrender his US citizenship. And the way it works in US law is that when you surrender your citizenship, they then take a value of your assets. I think a lot of countries do this. I think if you wanted to say that you were leaving Britain permanently, you'd still have to make an agreement with the tax authorities. They'd want to make sure that you had paid the tax that you generated whilst you were their citizen before you then moved to another country. And often countries have agreements with other countries to make sure that people aren't avoiding it so much. So it's a peculiarity of the US system. I don't think any other country, I don't think Roger Ver has been living inside the US for a number of years now, but the US is peculiar in the fact that they require that their citizens continue paying tax wherever they are in the world. So he's kind of a victim of the system that he grew up in. And so, yeah, surrendering his citizenship has basically created this issue with his tax bill. And of course, Roger Ver was very enthusiastic about Bitcoin right from the early days. He acquired a lot of Bitcoin. He created a lot of controversy when there was a big debate in 2017 over how they were going to develop the technology. He wasn't in agreement with how it was going to work. He'd acquired a lot of Bitcoin by then, and so he was quite a powerful voice. And he wanted the technology to develop in a different way. He didn't get his way because the community voted to take it in a different direction. And so he took the people who were supporting him and created a different kind of Bitcoin called Bitcoin Cash. That's where Bitcoin Cash came from. So he was very much a leader and a proponent of that. And so, with all of that, he will have acquired quite substantial wealth. And of course, it's if it was a small individual with not much revenue, there probably wouldn't be much point in chasing him. But because he's so wealthy, it's just like, right, time to make an example of you. So I feel a bit
Yeah,
sorry for him, really. But yeah, the
yeah,
tax man wants his.
I think a lot of people feel the same about that case. Listen, we've got just about 30 seconds, a little bit over.
Mhm.
What are the pitfalls of trading crypto? I know that's a lot to ask for a 30-second answer, but I know there's loads of
Yeah,
benefits. But what should people be wary of, like
it's
the
very
most important
volatile.
things?
Yeah, it's very volatile. It used to be the case that Bitcoin had quite a defined pattern, but now that they've introduced exchange traded funds, it's bringing loads of resources in its wake, which has its advantages to the upside, but also its disadvantages to the downside. So you need to be really careful. You need to know what you're doing. You're
You
against
need
the
to know what you're
professionals
doing
now.
for sure.
Yeah.
And you know what you're doing, don't you? So where can people find you again?
I'm on satoshipage.com. My book is Truth Decay, How Bitcoin Fixes This, available on Amazon. And yeah, my book's available on my website, and I have regular newsletters that you can sign up for to let you know when the latest one's been published.
This is Johnny Vedmore on today's News Talk, TNT.